Welcome back to Project 94 for another diecast review here on the channel. And today, we're going to be looking at Kevin Harvick's 2022 Busch Light #Busch Wingman number 4 Ford Mustang for Stewart Haas Racing. What a cool diecast for Kevin Harvick. We are going back to 2022 for this diecast review because there are some cars from this model year that I have missed reviewing. And this is one of them right here. I'm trying not to get so many Harvick diecasts because, I am not a fan of Kevin Harvick. But man, Action 46 Network got this for me as a gift. He said, you know what, I want you to review this diecast and, do cool stuff with it. And I said, you know what, why not? So thanks to Action 46 Network for buying me this diecast and supporting the Project 94 channel. So here it is, the diecast itself. Here's the box, of course, limited edition adult collectible. We are on a base for this one because it is a alcoholic diecast, so something to keep in mind for younger viewers. Really cool diecast. So I like this paint scheme. This car ran the playoff Talladega race, and this when Harvick got that huge penalty for some unapproved modification in that Talladega race. So yeah, a bit of a unfortunate little fact of trivia there with this scheme. But other than that, looking at it for its paint scheme, this is a cool diecast. So we're gonna get this diecast out of the box and ready to review. Once again, shout out to Action 46 Network. Thank you for picking up this diecast for me. Here it is. Gonna get to the diecast review. There you go. Here's the diecast out of the box, the Busch Wingman 164. I gotta say, now that I have it, I'm glad I have it. It's a cool design. When I saw this paint scheme on the Talladega track, I was like, man, that's a pretty cool Kevin Harvick paint scheme. Not sure if I would buy it, and of course I didn't buy it. This was given to me and purchased for me for this review, but man, this paint scheme, I gotta give them credit. This is a nice looking, this almost gives me like early 2000s vibes. Remember those cars where they would do like these old like real tree camo designs and stuff like that? Dale Jr. did some. I believe Harvick's done a couple of these in the past. And a few other drivers have done these throughout the years. This is another one of those paint schemes, and I like stuff like this. I like these like camo designs and stuff like that as it is. That's another cool design trend that I'm into. There's a lot of design trends that I'm into, but when you're a diecast reviewer, you review and gain interest for all kinds of things with paint schemes, right? You got number 4 right there. You got Stewart Haas Racing. You have Ford with the Ford Mustang front end to this thing. Rest in peace, this old Mustang for 2024. We're getting a new one. Of course, you have Busch Light on the hood with the less intrusive 2022 hood vents. Of course, Busch Light. You got the leaf covering that Busch Light logo. That's pretty cool. Busch Light. Brewed in the USA, Anheuser-Busch St. Louis MO. Of course, the Busch Light, the classic logo. Specialized color for this paint scheme. Of course, you have Ford Harvick. You have the orange number 4. You got Sunoco, the blue Goodyear logo, the yellow Goodyears, the gray rims. You have NASCAR Cup Series right by the blue Goodyear logo, which the blue Goodyear logo kind of looks cool with this. Pretty nice. Yellow would have blended in too much. Like certain cars that have yellow on top of the white, it's hard to see. Got NASCAR Cup Series number 4. You have the Busch Light can right there with the camo, the Wingman camo. Mobile 1, Kevin Harvick's name on the window, over the side window. You have the Ford Mobile 1, Haas, Hunt Brothers Pizza, and Rush Truck Centers logos right there. 2 race winner stickers, one from Richmond and one from Michigan. You have Gear Wrench right there. You have Hunt Brothers Pizza, Pristine Auction, and Subway. On the back of this thing, you have Mobile 1, the Ford license plate with the 2022 license plate registration sticker on it. You have number 4, Busch Light right there. You have Busch Light and Harvick on the roof right there with Mobile 1 on the roof. Harvick on the back windshield banner with Mobile 1 on the roof. So for the paint scheme itself, it's spray painted in white. For the roof number, you have a light gray outline. It kind of has like a brown. I don't know if it's just my eyes, but it looks like it has a brownish tan to it. Then you have the black shadow, the white outline, and the orange number fill-in. The orange is a little bit brighter in real life than it is on camera. It's like a lighter orange. I know the camera's making the colors look weird on these things, as always. On the side, you're going to have the thin white outline you have a bit of gray outline, black outline, and thin orange outline, and a white number fill-in for the number 4 that's on the side. You had an orange number 4 in the front with a black outline, and on the back you had, I think that's the same 4 that's on the doors. It looks like it is. And now for the paint scheme itself, this is another one with a beautiful colored, body-colored spoiler. Of course, you're going to have the white spoiler with some of the pop rivets, not all of them. But yeah, this car is one of the rare cars that has the colored-in spoiler. Well appreciated. Thumbs up. I can't get my hand in the picture. Thumbs up on the colored spoiler right there. You know, the black roof rails on the top as well, and the black splitter out front. And this is where the paint scheme starts. And, ooh, that is a paint chip right there. See that? Boink! Like a paint splatter or a squirt splatter or something like that right there. That's pretty, wow. Anyways, guys, you're going to have the orange stripe with a thin black outline to it. It's like a V in the front of this thing. That line is going to swoosh through the wheel well, slightly over the camo pattern. That's why there's a space to show off some of the white, as you see right there. A bit of the camo is behind the Sunoco right there as well. But the white stripe is going to follow through with that thick orange stripe with the black outline. It's going to swoop through the driver's window and up onto the black roof rails, where it kind of has like a shape to it. See, there's a white swoop right there. The orange swoops. The orange fills in a majority of the top pillar right there. And then the black thin outline follows through and stops right at the roof rails. As you can see right there, this whole section is orange. That stripe swoops up. And of course, the camo design starts at the very front corners of this paint scheme. You're going to look at it closely. It looks like tree branches, trees, and orange and green leaves. So that pattern is going to fill up all of this section of the paint scheme of everywhere I'm pointing. It's going to go over the white stripe that also follows through. It's a really thin, pointed off white stripe. Really thin, swoops through the logos. You're going to have of course, part of the Haas template is that they're going to have the very particular stripe that frames the contingencies. So all of these, the Mobile One, which is in its normal spot. Of course, you got the Subway, Pristine, and Hunt Brothers. They're going to be framed by this beautiful, clean swoop, this orange thin line with the black. And of course, the black, cool enough on this thing, is going to have a gradient finish to it as well. So from the lower half of the black section, it's got gradient. Of course, you're going to always have the black side of the underbody right there, but from this section up, the gradient up into the black, that's within this barrier of the orange stripe. And then, of course, the Bioethanol logo. So that camo, let's get a closer look at that camo. That looks pretty cool. As you guys can tell, Busch beer always has really highly detailed schemes, and this one's really no different. And of course, the black, you're going to have some black on the I would like to call this A, B, C pillar. Right there is all colored black with the white stripe kind of poking through there as well. And it frames the gear wrench logo very nicely. And of course, that camo pattern with the leaves, the wingman camo is going to carry up all the way over the hips of this car onto the deck lid. And it's going to take a bit of the back bumper, but the black stripe with the orange, the thin orange stripe with the black thick stripe fill-in is going to cover the back bumper. And looking at it from the back, you can still see some of the camo. And all of these sides are the same. I don't see a difference between this side and the other side. And finally, we're going to look at the hood. So it's going to be pretty much like a round. It almost looks like a human face outline. You know when you're drawing like an anime character or something like that, or a character with like a mask, or just designing the mask, or just pretty much the outline of like a person's, like a cartoon character of like a person's face. It almost looks like an imprinting of that. You have the outline of the orange stripes going to start at the front grille of the Mustang and swoop all onto the hood. Of course, you're going to have the rest of the camo as well behind the Busch logo, which is also framed with an orange outline, with a gray contrast-looking version of the Busch Light logo, which is pretty cool. I love how that leaf covers up part of that. That's attention to detail. The leaves are going to really spread, especially when you're doing a design like this, or, you know, you're just doing like a forest-type scheme. You know, the leaves should be covering things up here and there, and that's pretty cool to see on the hood. Very cool detail. The Busch Light logo being a different color and having the leaf there. That's pretty cool. I love the way this hood design looks, guys. This is always one of the sharper Busch schemes to me, man. These camo ones are really sweet schemes, man. And like I said, there's a lot of Harvick diecast, so he's going to have lots of opportunities to drive really artistic paint schemes. You know, Busch Light's very artistic with their paint schemes. They really go all out with the details on them. So you can see this leafy camo throughout this scheme. It looks really cool, but you do have the right amount of white and black and the right amount of that base coat of white, which is really, really nice to see on this car. You know, a good balance of the colors. You're going to have a good paint scheme here. So really, really cool to see this Harvick Next Gen with one of these cool camo designs. Of course, the hashtag Busch Wingman. Cool that they're actually not only putting the can, but putting a hashtag slogan on the side to go with their sponsor. They've always been cool about that. Busch Light. You know, hashtag Busch Millennial, or what was the other one? Dang, there was another one he ran at Pocono that had a special, like, hashtag slogan on there. The Gen Z, something like that. Then, of course, they have Busch Light, Bushel of Busch, which that's going to be another diecast. So, really cool to see if they're putting hashtags on these things. It really adds a lot to this. But, yeah, guys, really, really cool with the leafy camo. I'll give you guys some close-ups of that. Very, very sweet car. I'm glad I have this. This is actually one of the cooler Kevin Harvick designs. And, you know, it stood out. From a pack of 40 or a pack of 30, 7 cars almost at Talladega, this one really stood out from the Haas camp. You know, very sweet car. And if you're contemplating on whether or not you should get this car, of course, it really does depend on what you want to buy, right? But, you know, this is not a bad one to consider. So here's the front of the car. Here's the hood. Here's the right side. Here's the back. Here's the deck lid. Here's the roof. Here's the left side. And the chassis of this car, which is covered up by the plastic base. The underbody, I should be saying. Yep, once again, plastic base. And that is going to be it for the 2022 Kevin Harvick Busch Light hashtag Busch Wingman Ford Mustang for Stewart Haas Racing. What a cool number 4. And of course, Harvick's going to be retiring this year in 2023, so his cars are going to go up in value. So might as well get as many of these as you can while you can. And this is definitely not a bad one to continue collecting with for Kevin Harvick. So thank you all for checking out this diecast review. Comment, like, and subscribe. And we will see you guys in the next diecast review. And always remember to make sure you know what you're doing when you're putting decals on your diecast.